Hey everyone. Welcome back to another review. This one, a Netflix original, and it was pretty decent. Definitely has its flaws, but we're both kind of on the same opinion scale here, right, with everything? What? Yeah, so they call it The Boy Who Harnesses the Wind for some reason. I mean, it makes sense in context of the story. It's about some kid who eats 10 bean burritos for breakfast and harnesses the wind with his farts by farting in everyone's face.
Oh, the wind is his farts. His harness is his asshole.
Yes, and it's like some weird Tarantino foot fetish, except it's with farts, which is really weird.
Ryan Johnson directed it.
Yeah, I thought
he said it was his indulgent fetish project.
Yeah, I gotta say, for as weird as it was, it had a lot of artistic merit to it. Pretty experimental.
I'm gonna kill you. So the movie is it's based on a true story.
And that went on to be a book, right? And then now went on to...
Yeah, and it went on to be a podcast, and it went on to be a TED Talk. Yeah, it's just a fucking true story, okay? And now they're making a movie about it. And it's about a young boy who his local town, village is suffering from a bad harvest season, and they're literally starving and dying out. And he has this idea to try and convert wind to energy to try and get water to the city. And he's a very young boy, so that's kind of the thing that the story is going for, is that he's very young, but he is very intelligent.
We'll start with negatives because the beginning for me is pretty weak.
The whole movie for me felt like the beginning.
Very true. Yes, actually, that's a great way to word it. I would say for the first hour, for me, it felt like it really wasn't going anywhere, and pretty much nothing was happening. And you could say the same thing was with Roma. However, Roma had style, it had amazing cinematography that kept your eyes on everything, and what happened was actually still very memorable. I can name off 100 things that happened in the beginning of Roma, the first hour, that still amaze me to this day. With this film, I already kind of forgot, a large majority of what happened in the first half of this film, just because it was so long, and it really dragged you down to the ground, man. I was having a hard time watching this until it started to pick up.
Yeah, the whole first half to me was just a kind of blur of suffering, and I feel kind of bad saying that because this is a real thing. People have real problems and everything, but the way the movie told the story, I think, was really ineffective in conveying that struggle that these people went through, because there's no real, I guess, kind of reaction to the struggle that much, aside from the fact that they are in grief constantly. They're kind of just being hit upon with, just hardships like, the famine and the weather and the government, and they kind of just, they react and they get really scared and everything, but they never really feel inspired to move forward or feel inspired to try to improve their situation. They just kind of deal with it, and they just kind of are in grief and share their grief with each other, except for the main character. But the main character is constantly being put down by everyone around him, because the kind of attitude of everyone, including his family and the government, is that they stick to their roots and stick to their traditions, which works against them in the movie. So it's just kind of a long thing about suffering and hypocrisy, and this kid is just trying to do it, but he really just can't. And the story takes a long time to move forward because he can't start his project.
Yeah, so that's probably the biggest negative to me. Another negative I have to say is just that there's nothing super special or unique about this film. We've seen this type of plot done 1,000 times over. And I mean, that's not to say that we still don't feel for the story and then what actually happened. And in the film itself, I mean, I certainly felt a lot, but there was no kind of new impact. There was no kind of crazy mind-blowing moments or even anything in the story that really amazed me, which, that's kind of drags it down, because you can get this type of experience with tons of other movies. This is the first film from, what's his name?
Chiwetel Ejiofor.
Yes, and he's a very talented actor, but it's understandable that he's still finding his style, he's still finding his groove, and I mean, for a first feature, really, aside from story problems, technically, I feel like this is a very well-made film. which I guess we can move on to positives. Do you have any more negatives? So for positives, you were pretty lukewarm on the cinematography. I thought the cinematography was pretty cool. Nothing exceptional or anything, but I thought it was good. And that was mainly due to the set design, I felt like. The acting was also pretty great. Everybody did a fine job. And dialogue-wise, everything was pretty on point. It didn't feel unrealistic to me.
I really rooted for our main character here, mostly because he was the only like non-dumbass in the whole movie.
Yeah.
But he was really just really smart, honest, hardworking kid who wanted to really just want to enjoy his childhood and his friendships, but also really want to do something good for his community and work hard for that. There's a lot of things that he encounters in his experiences in the film, and there are aha moments, and there are rewarding moments, and you really feel those moments through his character, which is great. And he definitely has the best dialogue in the film. He says shit that is just leagues above all the other characters in the film, and it's really compelling. And he was probably the best written character in the whole movie. I liked the costume design, which is kind of a random thing, but I thought that the outfits. There's like that little tribe. Remember that little tribe thing?
Yeah, that was cool.
Band musical thing that comes through. They look really cool, and everyone's just the look of their outfits on the setting that they're in. They're just a very drab desert kind of setting. Their outfits really pop in color. I'm pretty sure they just did that to be true to what they wore. But
certainly.
At the same time, just the colors were really nicely placed, and they looked very, very good on the film. So I thought that was cool.
Yeah. We were talking about it, and you mentioned that this would be kind of better if it was like a 90-minute film. I thought this would be even better, like a 60-minute thing.
Something just it's like the 1570 into Paris thing, where it's like this event that happened is the thing that binds the whole story together. But they try to build a story around that, I feel like, and that's where it's flawed. I think that if they just stuck to the meat of the film, and it could be 60 to 90 minutes.
Yeah, I think that would have worked better for this type of story. But overall, I enjoyed it more than I didn't. And the technical, achievements that this thing did were, it didn't achieve necessarily anything amazing, but it was good enough to kind of, be noticeable. It outweighed the problem I had with the first half. And that's not to say, I know we're talking a lot of shit about the first half. It's not terrible. You know what I mean? Like, it's still interesting to see what's going on, even though it's more of like a slice of life type thing where it's just them living their life. I still enjoyed it, and the second half and the ending is very satisfying. So
I would give it a 6 out of 10 because it was pretty good. But I'll be honest, I was bored out of my mind at some moments of this movie. It really could have just got to the point,
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 6 as well. Kind of same exact opinion as you pretty much on this thing. So
go fuck yourself.
Well, thanks. Thank you for watching. We hope you enjoyed the review. We'll catch you on the next one. I think you might do a solo Greta review.
Oh, you're not gonna watch that?
No, I don't care about that movie.
Oh, he doesn't care about women. That's right.